Saturday, January the 18th, 2020, and I'm up in the Chilterns. A rare visit up this way. Don't get up here that often because I've done most of the walks. And indeed, today's one is a repeat of one I did almost a decade ago again. It was originally done on a mobile phone, hence the need to refilm it really. And today's walk is the last walk in book 1, so that's walk 52, Prince's Risborough to Wendover. And today, unlike the original walk, I won't be going via Great Kimble and Smoky Row, again as with last week's walk, mainly due to the crossing of a main road up there. Also, it probably wouldn't fit in time wise. It's up past 12 now. Cracking day, around 7 degrees, perfect walking weather, and I think, yeah, I'll just about get this done. It's about 9 mile before 5 o'clock, which is about the max you can walk now currently. But moving onwards, it's getting brighter, or lighter rather, in the evenings. So let's press on. I pretty much know what's awaiting us this time because, as I say, I've done this before, but a long time ago. Let's see if anything's changed. No doubt more housing development, that's for sure, and less wildlife. Just across over the rail line there, you've got the Chequers and Prince's Risborough Railway, which I guess is a private steam line. Not totally sure. Coming out of the station, immediately opposite, looks like something's afoot here. Could well be some kind of development happening here shortly. Got an old signal box over there. Probably used by the Chequers Railway. Lots of memorabilia here of the network's southeast region, I notice. The orange and blue. And there you go, as I foresaw, that wasteland is about to become more homes, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom. The town sign seems to have changed since I was last here, I believe. Don't recall that. Now taking this left turn, the Upper Icknield way, which I could follow all the way home actually, seeing as the Icknield way goes past where I live. This is the Ridgeway, which we're going to be following for most of this version of the walk. There was a frost last night, which is now thawed out, and consequently we've got quite a muddy, slippery, on chalk footpath now, or bridleway. Passing Prince's Risborough School, which seems a bit of an odd place to have a school, on the edge of town. Still on the Upper Icknield way. Decent views over Risborough on my left. Point 7 of the text here. Take the footpath, the Ridgeway, to your right. I believe the Whiteleaf cross should be coming into view soon, although where I'm not sure. Don't think that's it up on the hillside there. Bit of a view back out across the plain, and one thing I have noticed thus far, straight from getting off the train is a great number of kites flying around. Of course they will be pairing up shortly and nesting. Bit of urban noise there for you, unfortunately. Now ascending Brush Hill. Ignore the footpath to the left here. Very kindly someone's put in some steps. Quite a steep ascent here. Looks like someone's lost some keys here on a British Airways tag. So if anyone's done this walk recently, there's your keys on Brush Hill. The view from point 10 of the text probably was a lot clearer when I did it 10 years ago. Nonetheless, not bad as we ascend. Getting above a tree line, get an even better view. Inscription here on the stone pillar referred to in the text, with various directions on the top. Just below the car park, point 11 of the text, now following the Ridgeway bridleway, which augurs badly for me, because in this weather it's likely to be absolutely churned up. Just cross this minor road. There are, by all accounts, picnic tables over there, for those that need to know. Neolithic mound on my left, referred to in the text. Views from Whiteleaf Hill. I think we're about 800 foot up here. Certainly that's the highest point on this walk today, according to my OS mapping and GPX guidance, which I'm not using at the moment. The instructions are thus far very good. Perhaps not, just checking the map, the highest point is actually at Pulpit Hill, which we've still to get to. Information panel here provided by the Chiltern Society. Whiteleaf and Brush Hill local nature reserves. Plenty of red kites, harebell. No flowers at the moment though. Talking of flowers, I have already seen snowdrops up where I live. Plenty of them out already, but they don't seem particularly to like beech woods. So we're not going to see any on this walk, I wouldn't have thought, unless we see them in the cemetery graveyard, where I might get into, might not. That's quite a steep descent there, point 14 of the text, particularly on the wet chalk with leaf mulch on top of it. Plenty of woodpeckers been practicing up there by the looks of it. I do remember this section of the walk being particularly pleasant as it's quieter and wild. Plenty of wild vegetation around. Not much bird song at the moment though. There you go. That was kite. But yeah, not much else. Look at that, lovely. Frosty, mossy, natural. Information panel here about Prince's Risborough, just outside the Plough. Well positioned for the Ridgeway, possible early lunchtime stop. So Wendover, just 4.5 miles from here, according to this. However, it says Risborough, 1.6 miles. My GPS is telling me 2.6 at the moment. So here we go. Welcome to Grangelands and the Rifle Range, which seems like a bit of a contradiction, seeing as it's a nature reserve again. A bit like that place down in Pangbourne where I saw the pheasant shooting. So per the text we go through this gate here, not the one on the far left, which is the Ridgeway one. So for the main walk, goes uphill here. Lovely mixed woodland ahead of us. Views back whence I've come. Golf course over there in the distance. Point 17 of the text, walking down this pleasant greenway, sunken lane. As you may be able to see in that trough there, thin layer of ice on top of it. So shows how cold it was last night. That's what we need to kill off all these germs that are flying around at the moment. Not getting enough of it, I'm afraid. Now entering the Trust's Pulpit Wood. Once again, decent views on my left. Coming up 2 o'clock now. Around about 3 miles undertaken. Lovely valley up on my right now, as I'm stood down in the dip, heading for that board. That white marker there you can see ahead. There's the finger post referred to in the text. North Bucks Way now. Wolverton 35 miles. Haven't heard of that one, North Bucks Way. Great Kimble, half a mile. Our onward journey's right, uphill, still following the Ridgeway. Through this kissing gate donated by the LDWA. Good on them. What a splendid valley this is. Vale of Aylesbury out in the distance. Lovely. This used to be an old rifle range, apparently, not dissimilar to the one that I have up near me in Hertfordshire, called the Target Plantation. Probably where the Home Guard used to practice. Wonder if Boris is in residence today. Chequers over there. Another shot of Chequers with a monument up on the hill behind it.
Total distance 4 miles. Total time 1 hour 48 minutes and 14 seconds. Split pace 27 minutes 55 seconds per mile.
Trust you heard all that. 4 mile just up. Point 24 of the text, we're now going through this wooden swing gate and on towards the Chequers gatehouses down there. Yep, do remember doing this previously, a decade ago, when I had 2 good hips. Lots happened in between, twixt cup and lip. Cracking backdrop to the house. Nice place to reside for your weekends, eh? Little bit of a warning there. Passing the gatehouses. Buckmore End farm shop over there with drinks and hot food, etc. Now 2.8 miles of Wendover as our journey continues along the Ridgeway bridleway. As you can see, open 10 to 4, which is handy. Now this is very decent of them. The main path must be heavily rutted, that bridleway there, so I'm going to take the walkers only version. There you go, walkers only it says. Straight away you got mountain bikes down here. What idiots are they? Absolutely unbelievable. They've got a nicely rutted byway over there that they should be using, and which what I thought is ideal for them. They use our footpath. Not good. See, that's what that nice rutted path there, byway, that's what you need for a mountain bike. Lightweight whoever cycled down our path. Now passing a turn off for the South Bucks Way, a bridleway. Our onward journey's uphill, continuing along the Ridgeway. Point 29 of the text, we leave the Ridgeway here, which goes left up towards the Boer War monument, which I now realise was the monument I filmed earlier. We continue straight ahead here towards the village of Dunsmore for the main route. Some peaceful woodland now, peaceful enough for me to observe a monkjack over there in that little glade. There it is. And I noticed someone was up in arms the other day after the National Trust killed some deer in Ashridge Park and left the body parts, or the innards, the entrails, in the woodland. I mean, what are we coming to when people are moaning about things like that? If you come out in the countryside, you've got to expect to see stuff like that. It's what the countryside's about. It does not need to be sanitised and manicured. I mean, if I say, how's a deer stalker supposed to do his job and feed other wildlife, which is what the entrails do? It would have disappeared within 24 hours. Birds of prey, other animals, etc. would have devoured that. What a crazy country we're coming to. Very pleasant section of the walk this. Nice and peaceful, apart from that plain in the background. Point 31 of the text we're on. Still continue on down, continuing on down. Now the biplane's gone. It's incredibly quiet. No great tits, no bird song at all. Strange. So just next to Cobnut Farm here on my right, go over this stile uphill. Okay, I'm going to be taking the sign to Dunsmore village only, but I'm conscious there of a bench. There's a little chapel over there, and I think that's about all this little hamlet has. So there won't be a church to have my lunch in. So it could well be there, next to the village pond. It's just gone 3 o'clock, kick-off time for me, missing the Arsenal game today, fingers crossed. Now I can't even read who that's dedicated to, but no doubt it will become evident upon playback. So let's have a quick whistle stop. 3:30. Lunch has been had. Wasn't able to work out the name on that plaque, but hey ho. Information here about the damage HS2 is going to do. Point 40 of the text. Passing by the rusting gates. I'm doing the original route, not the alternative here, and it is pretty muddy underfoot, I must admit, but has been raining heavily of late, so it's passable. Point 41 of the text. Here's the tree with the railing partly embedded into it. And as you can see on that finger post over there, we take a half left through the wood. Certainly temperature's dropping now. It's a case of following the yellow arrows. Now on Coombe Hill. Four o'clock, just before the sun sets, and I'm just in front of the Boer War Monument, Coombe Hill, the high point of the walk, around 8,500 foot. Cracking views. It's also very busy, surprisingly, considering the temperature. Not like a weekday where I'd better have the place to myself. There she blows. Managed to get it clear of people. Boom. Vale of Aylesbury. Now entering Buckham Hill, as I discover it's called locally, Barkham Hill, a precious fragment of ancient chalk grassland and woodland brimming with wildlife. And that sums up today's society, doesn't it? Little fragments. Terrible. 4:30. Parting views of the Vale of Aylesbury, and ahead of me there, Wendover. I think it's freezing now. Very cold. Camera just about works. Shoulder of Mutton pub. Possible tea time stop. Okay, back at Wendover. And unfortunately there's a 40 minute wait now to the next train, which doesn't bode well. So that was a very decent 8.5, I think it was, I recorded, around 3 hours 45 in perfect walking conditions. A bit slippy underfoot, mind you, hazardous as the evening drew in with ice forming, but otherwise a very pleasant Chiltern walk. Just a shame about the wait now for a train. Anyway, and also Arsenal only drew, so not a good afternoon really, apart from the walk. So book 1, walk 52, revisited, and very pleasant it was. I don't remember the section after Coombe Hill really. So I must have, because previously I did the version via Great Kimble, slightly different I guess. Anyway, till next time.